Hello, everyone, and welcome to one new episode of Fancast podcast. Today, our guest is Tiffany Petitt on Instagram. Hi, how are you?
Hi, I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm very good. Listen, this has been such a frantic recording session so far, Chad, you don't even know. So, if you don't know her, Tiffany is an artist on Instagram and on Webtoons. She has a very famous comics known as The Adventure of Second Ray in the I forgot the name of the game. Wait, give me a minute. In
It
the
makes
Angels
sense
of
that
Death, in
you
the
would know
Angels of
my
Death,
fan club.
Angels of Death. She has an Angels of Death fan comic, Adventures of Second Ray, and has now also been slowly turning into personal work and the USMP fandom. Hi, how are you? Welcome to
Thank
Fancast.
you. Happy to
Like,
be here. I feel
finally.
you've done a great job stroking my ego that you would know that my fan comic over the game that it's based on just makes me feel like I'm really winning at life.
Actually, funny thing about that. When I found your comic, it was by accident. I was already following you. I don't know how. When you posted like the Christmas episode, way back when it was first starting in December 2018, I don't know how I found it, but I just kept going.
Oh, wonderful! Well, I'm very
It was
happy you
a
found.
it was a coincidence, and I'm glad for it. But it was funny.
You notice it escalated from where
It
the person
escalated quickly.
I went from being like, oh, you know, it'd be cute this, or you know, it'd be cute that, to being like, I'm going to straight up have a super dramatic plot line, and we're going to make
Yes.
this really angsty. Man,
Yeah.
that's
It went from like let's have some small interactions after they escape to be like let's make people suffer with found family dynamics.
um, that was not the original intent when the comic started, but I don't know if it says something about my mind where it's like, yeah, suffering is like a naturally fun. I think everyone wanted it to go in a suffering direction. I mean,
Yeah. Let's be
who doesn't
real.
like a little bit?
We wouldn't have been in the Angels of Death fandom if we didn't like angst. Like like
Angel
we
doesn't
wouldn't
sound
have.
perfect. Actually, you know what? I don't know too much about you. So like, I didn't even know you were reading my Angels of Death comic. I actually thought that you were just in the. Though it's been a while. I tried to keep on top of people. I've been so bad at keeping in touch with the wonderful people who've been encouraging me with the
Like,
comics, and especially
oh,
since the past like year and a half, I was working on getting it
okay.
ready.
I then you definitely don't remember me because I am one of the people who was translating comic back way back then. Like I remember messaging you were like, "Hey, can I translate this comic in Spanish?" And you were like, "Oh, sure." So there is
Oh,
an account, a personal account that I don't have access to anymore, that has the first 3 chapters of the comic in Spanish.
oh my gosh, I do remember. Man, see, I was right to say I'm ashamed of myself. Thank you. That meant a
You
lot,
know.
and it's really, really cool that you took the time to translate it, and that's
Yeah.
super awesome. Yeah, it's like a dream to have someone translate your
Yeah.
comic. In my
I
opinion,
could
it's
never
like,
finish it, but I started it. I started
well,
translating it.
it's an honor. Thank you so much for doing that. It was very encouraging at the time. I was very I owe a lot to everyone who encouraged me, especially early on with it. I don't think it would have gone the direction it went. And I don't think I would have gone in a much more, like, I got a lot better and faster at making comics thanks to you guys being really motivating and encouraging. So,
Oh.
super thank you to that. That was really nice, and I appreciate it.
Yeah, there was. I remember it being like a very like a big community around the comic way back then because it was the only thing we had in this fandom that wasn't pedophilic. So we all just latched up to it.
I'm here to bring the wholesome and, you know, it's a tough fandom to be in because it's a fine line. You
Yeah.
you gotta be careful with how you portray things.
So we literally all just latched onto the fluff.
Listen, man, I love Angela's Death so much, though. I love because
Oh,
it did
me
such
too.
a good
Me
job with
too.
the character relationships and and I love me some a nice, basically it was like the found family thing. But man, I could just go off
Hmm.
about Angels of Death, but it was so straightforward and character centric, and it gave me. I'm a big fan of Hurt Comfort, and it had so much of that. It was like like someone wrapped up a little show just for Tiffany and handed it to her. So
Yeah, I get it. I love it. And actually, I remember like when the anime came out, right?
Mhm.
I found this because of the anime. I didn't play the game, and I remember I am so glad I almost dropped the anime.
Right?
I couldn't because like episode 1, perfection, animation, pacing, everything. I saw the animation of episode 2, and immediately I was like, "What is this crap? Why doesn't it look beautiful anymore?
I
Why?"
see you have observation skills of how they. I know. It was a. I'm curious. Did you watch the English or the Japanese?
Oh no, I watched the Japanese. I watched it in Japanese.
I watched both
Yep.
because you got very different experiences on them, and I loved both. I felt like the English one was funnier, which I liked because Angel
Really?
the Death is it was funny. The voice actor for Zach was really good. He was very funny.
I should check it out in English, maybe. I only checked it in Japanese and in Spanish, but like I didn't like the Spanish version, so I was like, nope, Japanese. I'm gonna stick to Japanese.
Well, the Japanese version, Zach has a lot hotter voice. He has Bakugo's voice, and I'm a big Bakugo fan.
Yeah.
It was very easy for me to listen to. I literally just, every week, whenever the sub came out, I watched it there. Whenever the dub came out, I watched it there. I was so committed to that fandom. I was looking up the Chinese manga. I was in the fandom. I was very into it.
Good. Yeah. I'm so glad you were in the fandom now because I'm still I still hold it very close and near to my heart. I was not in there for very long because again, your thing was the only non-creepy thing I could find, which explains a lot about the fact that there is a small fandom around your thing, but like
Oh man, it's so, and there was, the thing is, like, it's such, again, it was a fine line because there was so much awesome fan art. I don't know if you noticed, I'm sure you did.
yeah, there was. I love the fan art.
Yeah, that was one of the things that really got me wanting to do some of it. It was like, I couldn't believe, I think, you know what it was? I'm sure you've noticed this. With RPG games that are like pixel based, they inspire a lot of artists to want to do fan art for it because there's a lot of flexibility with what the visuals actually look like, and people want to see what it would have looked like.
Exactly. It's like with Minecraft, right? I know this is like people that, oh, how does the recipe have such amazing fan art? It's just Cube Game. Because it allows for it.
It's because it's a video game. I think people miss that. It's like fuels people's artist, like it makes you want to draw it when it's not presented to you with all the information. Like it's it's still in the play. Absolutely. And that's why the Minecraft community is so popular. Like, because Minecraft, you get like the same thing with RPG. They allow timing for like comedic timing, and like storytelling can actually be conveyed really well with the pixels and the blocks, and to the point where you can still get that good sense of like storytelling while also the visuals can be played with. So it's really fun. I loved, and the freaking Angels of Death game. I'm sure
it is amazing. It is amazing.
It used its medium super well. Like it was its timing and the use of the word, even the pacing in which the words came out was used comedically and or emotionally. And I love that kind of stuff. That just shows good craftsmanship. It was so awesome.
Like that is something that also talks about the anime. That when I told my friends that the game was like funny to play, they looked at me with like confusion. We were like, this anime has a funny game, and I was like, yes.
Again, by the way, some of those like crackhead lines that Zach gives later are in the English dub. They aren't in the Japanese one. Like
really? Okay, now I really have to check the English dub, honestly.
They had to clean some of the stuff up that they couldn't carry. But yeah, again, both English and Japanese had things that were of merit. It kind of depends on what you liked about it. So I liked all. I liked Zach being cool and hot, but I also wouldn't like him as much if he wasn't such a.
He was a dork. Yeah, he was like an idiot. He was an idiot. He didn't have brain cells.
Oh man, I could go for hours just talking about the characters in Angel of Death.
You're allowed. Like he was all brown, no brain. But he was like, "Oh, Rachel is so smart." No, it's that you're an idiot.
He had instincts, though. He knew what Ray needed.
Yeah.
You know, he had
Yeah.
like an eye for like oh, I could just go on. The two of them were so perfect as characters, and how I've already said this before, but like I don't know if you noticed this. I'm sure you did, but the two of them, because of each other, go against their own interests throughout the story, which is such an really clever writing.
It's like they are perfect foils. They're perfect foils because they force the other one to get out of the comfort zone and become more than they are. I love that.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, they both had they both had problematic goals in the beginning, and because of each other, they went against their own goals, which is not usually how a story is set up. But for character writing, I thought it was like the moment that Ray ran for her life to escape Zach was when I was like, this is so clever. Like she is proactively going against her own wishes, even though it actually is for her best interest to do so, because for his sake, and then vice versa, he's going against his own wishes for like, this is good character writing. It's like, I love it when people play with a character's motivations and make them do things that they might not want to do, but they
will do it anyway if it's for another person.
Yeah, it's so good. It's so complex, and I'm not gonna act like. Actually, you know what I really liked about Angel to Death? It wasn't a crazy complex storyline. It was very simple, but it wasn't.
Still left play for the mystery.
I mean, again, like it's straightforward. They're trying to get out of a building. There's some antagonist, whatever. But it was very character focused, and that was a big inspiration for me shifting to the comic I'm currently working on, Scent, which, if you know anything about it,
your original, right?
Yeah, I had actually already been cooking up a big original comic before I started working on Scent, and looking at Angel of Death made me realize that I really should start with keeping it very simple and character focused. So I changed everything that I was working on to this new thing. It's not like Angels of Death. I think anyone reading it would tell you it's not the same, but it is a very character focused and their relationship focused, and I definitely 100% took inspiration from Angels of Death in regards to just keeping it limited and focusing on the characters and how they play off each other, rather than getting too carried away with, I'm gonna add this, and what if this happened, and wouldn't it be thematically interesting? Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I think some people get carried away with too much going on, and you lose track of what makes a story good, which is good character writing.
That's great. I love things that are just two characters that interacting and their lives around that. I love that.
Oh that's
like The Last of Us.
And I know a lot of people like a lot of different things, but I know what I like, and I like characters that impact each other through their slowly built, like a slow burn relationship.
Yes, exactly. A slow burn doesn't have to be romance. It can be also a very deep friendship, and I love that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and though my comic, it would be technically okay if it was a romance. But I don't feel like the romantic elements was what made it super good in Angels of Death, but but yeah, that's my thing. I like that with Fruits Basket, same thing. I have
never finished Fruits Basket. I should.
I finished the manga, but I've been holding off watching the actual show because I watch it with a friend. So, but so what are you currently?
What? I'm sorry.
What are you currently related to story-wise? Shows.
Story-wise, right now I'm focused on the Dream SMP, and like I'm actually writing a lot about like fanfiction and all, and I want to write an essay about like cooperative storytelling centered around the SCP Foundation and the Dream SMP.
I'm very curious about the whole concept of the Dream SMP, and it's kind of like obviously I've been getting into that recently. Though I'm kind of always waiting. I'm very picky about what I want. I go crazy about the big lore streams. If it's a techno dream, something's going down. It's like
Me too. It's like
it's so. it's so cool because there's like so many different perspectives going on at once, and it makes you feel like it's a really breathing, existing real world with everyone.
Exactly, it's like a story that you are living through.
Yeah, and it's cool to feel like with everything you're watching, there could be something else going on at the same time, and it feels very, I don't know, it just feels very like a breathing kind of real thing. And because every character is kind of already fleshed out by default because they're played by a person who's sort of portraying themselves. So it takes care of a lot of stuff that other shows can't pull off because they don't have time to flesh out characters. But with Minecraft, it's like, well, you know that character's fleshed out because if you went and checked them out, you could, but you don't have to. It's
I love
really
how character-driven the recipes. It's like very character-driven, and that is not something I see in a lot of stuff, and I love that.
Absolutely, and I'm sure you. I don't know who it was. I'm thinking it was on my live stream. I believe it was. I had a friend, someone who joined my streams called Awkward Alcoon, and there's a couple other people who joined. They kept pushing the Dream SMP on me. And I think for about a year and a half, I didn't check it out. But man, you watch a couple of those saddest animations, and you can hardly.
Sadist is like actually sadist, and you are the reason why I started interested in the reason B.
Yeah, you have to have a strong will not to at least be curious.
Yes. Yes.
She goes crazy with those. It was the Technoblade one that broke me. That one was
the Hog Hound.
It was Hog Hound. Oh, that was. I almost cried watching that. I get really hyped about music and animated. I like music videos. I like hyping things up with edits. I'm crazy about edits. For a little while, I think you remember I had some edit contests.
Yes, I remember.
I hope as I make progress on Scent, and maybe I have no expectations for Scent, but I would just melt over an edit for Scent. But anything that's fandom based with my own work, it's like Christmas. I go crazy, and there's been some really nice supportive angles, but edits,
you will love to know then that actually your design of Zack is something that I used to copy all the time to practice my chibis back in the day when I was.
Well, I'm honored. I feel super important. I'm a celebrity now. I want reference my own.
Actually, like that is funny because like I contacted you with like 50 followers on Twitch, one episode out of the podcast, and I was like, hey, who would you like to come? And you were like, yeah, check it out. And when you didn't respond, I was like, yeah, I was shooting my shot too high.
I'm happy for it, and I'm honored that you would invite me. I feel super important. So that's what life's all about: feeling important.
Yeah. Actually, like I remember when you like this is funny because like I think you are the person who I invited to the podcast who I've been following for the longest, which is weird to think about.
It's appropriate. No, it's fun as you. So it is a little risky. I do a lot better when I do like anything Minecraft focused. But the thing is, like, I have to feel a raw like desire to make the comic for me to make an actual comic. So I know what I've recently jumped into with my own stuff is not. It's not. It's not going to inherently. It's not growing anything. But I think with everything you need to build it up before it's. You can't just expect people to like your original stuff. Off the bat, and I had no expectations for like everyone is going to be like, oh, original stuff, heck yeah, that's what we signed up for when we checked out Tiffany's comic. But I hopefully by the time it's over, I think people will have no choice but to be really excited about it. But the Minecraft stuff was
the Minecraft stuff is like yes.
That was fun. Those are fun. They take me like no time to make, and a part of me wants to put the audio in with them, since they're so dang funny. I love the Minecraft stuff. Though I haven't watched a lot of it recently. Isn't Chubbo doing a new lore stream soon?
Yes, I think tomorrow. Like tomorrow, Rambo is coming back to Dream SMP, and we know that this week we are gonna get lore. So people are speculating that tomorrow.
It's been quiet. They always get you really excited. They do the big stream. They're like, we're gonna be coming back every day. It's gonna be great. And then it's like
nothing.
And then nothing. It's like, well, I guess that's what happens when they got lots going on, but I understand. It's
Yeah.
fine. I don't know exactly what
Yeah.
I would want. I would like to see more techno kicking everyone's butt. That would be fun. But
We would all like that. I honestly like I maybe ask some apologies, but I want Techno to kick Sam on the butt.
that sounds about right. I'm trying to think of like what exactly I want to see in it. I was really enjoying it. I mainly liked the Dream SMP because of the character dynamics more than anything. I think because it's filled with so many talented content creators that are legitimately and like consistently good at being a good character, that it makes it really fun to see them bounce off of each other. Like anything like Techno and Dream was such a treat to experience. I feel like Dream's really good at acting, and he's really entertaining.
Yes, Dream is an amazing actor, and more people should like talk about how good actors they all are.
Yeah, it's you're gonna get like the different things with each of them. So I think Dream is one of the best actors. I can't think of anyone else who I think does as good a job. I think he does a really solid job. Tommy's, I think, got a good consistent. He's consistently the most funny, I think. I love Tommy.
Yeah.
But then some of them work good, just as good bouncing off characters. I think Filza is one of the best additions to any combination, because he brings that like shared amusement with what's happening in front of him. It always adds to it. So
he just revels in the chaos, whatever the chaos may be.
Mm-hmm.
He goes along with the flow.
He's kind of like a like to some extent the straight man in the comedy, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, he's like I understand, like Jafar and Twisted.
Yeah. It brings out the chaos that's happening when you have someone who's a little bit more mature in the group, and it makes it more fun because you have a contrast. So yeah. And the Techno.
Who's your favorite character?
My favorite character is Techno. Easy. I love Techno. I think he's so clever, and I like him as a dry, Deadpool kind of character. He kind of is like the Sans of the group that's like very aware, and and he brings like, because you watch it and you know it's you're role playing Minecraft, and you want to take it seriously, but you need someone that is aware that it's still role playing Minecraft. And I think that is super funny, and I think he's shockingly funny every time he streams. I don't know how he's so consistently good humor. He's not always like this. He's not like a bubbling like comedic personality, especially not in a group.
It's just that he doesn't take it seriously when he doesn't need to.
Yeah, but when it is his stream, it's like consistently funny and clever. So
exactly.
I think
something
good.
You said there with Taylor is that the fact that he's self-aware makes it funny, and yeah, I honestly think that if none of them ever broke the fourth wall, our suspicion and disbelief would be broken, and that is like so and like counterintuitive to think.
I'm trying to think of like I like them breaking. I actually like them breaking character often. Because I feel like it is a stage play to some extent, and every time they have, if there's like for example, when Dream accidentally killed Tommy.
Oh yeah, that was hilarious. Like
and I went and looked at everyone's reaction when it's like showing that Tommy died, and like some people weren't sure if they were supposed to see that or like, but it's just, I feel like it adds. I think everyone viewing it knows what we're watching, and then we can break for a moment, enjoy. Like you don't have to be permanently like in perfect acting mode. Just like I like it being broken every once in a while. Maybe more so because I feel like it should be. It's fun to take it seriously, but I feel like at its root, the best thing about the Dream SMP is that it's pretty dang funny, and it's funny because there's very funny people in it. I don't think people started watching because of the super like up Broadway acting going on. But that's cool though. I like it when they go for it. And
I understand it. It's like my favorite lore stream, like the one I always go back when I need to like relax and write, is the Rambo meeting Slimesicle bot.
A freaking Slimesicle. Oh gosh, I love Slimesicle. He's another example of like, because like he has a character, but like It's the improv. It's so clever. The improv, and I don't think it would work if it wasn't just loaded with very charismatic personalities. I think that's what makes Dream SMP work.
Yeah,
And
because they're most of them are very likable people. Like some of them depends on the person, but most of them are overall likable in general, even if you don't actively watch them.
yeah, they carry their own characters because they are inherently talented entertainers, and I think that's why it works. I think it would be hard to recreate something like that organically, which is why I think it's really special. Because you'd have to know, and I think the reason it really worked because they all were there was like for a brief moment there was an explosion of Minecraft, and all of the
Yeah,
like fresh newcomers, anyone who started getting traction and started working, people naturally came together. But you wouldn't get that now because everyone's getting into Minecraft, so it's really hard to have that kind of happen again. In my
it's like
opinion.
the YouTube animation blast back in 2016. That
What
is
about
like the
animation?
best thing I have to it's like when a few YouTube animators got very famous back in 2016, so a lot of people started, and the big creators now are the ones that started back then, and now more people want to start into that, but because it became like such a mainstream thing, it's like harder to grow inside of it.
Yeah, it's a yeah, and there is, if nothing else, collabing is hard to organically because you don't want to force it. Though I guess, and over time, like for example, like I feel like the Dream Team is like a core group of friends that all kind of grew together, obviously, to
Mhm.
some extent, and like that's a lot of that stuff is just got to happen naturally. Like you can't make that
Exactly,
really
like
deliberately.
like you cannot have, for example, I always say that this, you will not never have an RSBI because that happened naturally. That was just how their dynamic grew outside of stream, and then inside of stream it just started happening.
Yeah, and it kind of works well with improv that there would be a improv esque creation of this Dream SMP stuff. It's like almost like it's hard to deliberately make. I'm always curious about what's going on with them though. Like obviously some want to do more of the lore improv, while others seem very busy. I don't know. I got into it right when they started drying up, particularly right when Techno stopped streaming. I was always on the lookout for Technoblade content.
Yeah.
And I hate that I got in right after there was a good number, like all the crap hit the fan before I got into it, and then it was like, oh my gosh, I love this. And it was like, oh, well, they stopped making
You.
content. That's unfortunate. But
Yeah.
I got plenty to keep me busy in the meantime. But I'm keeping an eye out. I am always ready for lore. I like MCC. I like combining the personalities and obviously that's actually all real. Like you are what you are. And I think that's what makes it
Yeah.
special. Like they're all kind of being themselves. So there's a
Exactly. It's like they are acting, sure, and the characters have gone through things that change how they act, but they're also like very honest about it. It's like it's not it's honest, but it's not literal. It's how I would explain it.
yeah, and on top of all that, because it's open to do streams whenever, and there's no rule really that you have a limited amount of time to play around and be yourself, it allows for time to get to know and like characters more that a show doesn't have time for. That's a good. So,
Exactly.
like, you can't. So many shows, I think, struggle because you don't have any time to get to know the characters or appreciate them. At least not, and especially not any of the side characters. I was just talking
Exactly.
about this. I was just talking about this on stream about like Big Hero 6 and stuff where they have like a whole bunch of characters and they all are well designed and they look like they might have a good personality. And then their whole existence is fighting some random robots at the end, and that's their job. Like they didn't do anything to the plot; they just kind of existed and
Exactly.
looked
And then
cool.
you have the SMP where like the side characters have, even some of them even have more interesting stories than the main characters. Like Eret and Foolish are some of my favorite characters. Foolish being my favorite streamer, and they have such interesting stories that never get explored because they're not main characters. That's
I'm
sad.
guessing you've enjoyed the Dream and Foolish interactions. Like that's stuff that no one's
Yes.
that's not required viewing for really the big plot. But if you like Foolish and you want to get to know him, there you go.
It was hilarious. Like, those Foolish streams where he was slowly losing his mind building a statue were the best thing that happened to me, because I have so many clips of him just randomly doing shit because he was slowly losing it. It was amazing.
Foolish is a very interesting streamer. He doesn't like he's not like go to as like the oh snap, Foolish is streaming, you know, something's going down. Like it's very, because you know,
he streams every day. He streams a lot.
But he's very good to bounce off of. I find him a very good addition, I think, because you can't have everyone be in the spotlight, even with something like this, especially when stuff goes down. Like, you still need Techno and Dream and Tommy mainly to be the protagonists to some extent. Not because the story, they wrote it that way, just to be honest, I think because they are the stronger and more entertaining of the batches as a whole.
It's because like the story has progressed how it has because they were like in the center. Like, nobody can deny that Tommy is the main character.
Yeah, and isn't that interesting though? Because it's almost like them being the main characters happened authentically through just how things go with personalities based. Almost, it was almost like a earned protagonist role, because like Tommy made himself the protagonist by popping into that Dream SMP and making crap. Like, it's not a matter of he called dibs or anything. It's just a matter of like, you're a character that you make stuff happen, and that's just good content. You're just a good content creator, and it's very interesting. It's very interesting to see a merit-based main character system. Not to say anyone else can't be. Anyone who's live streaming is technically the main character of their live stream. But I think everyone knows there is a order of importance in the story by authentic, just by like organic growth. Like, who do people want to watch? Who are people like excited about? And no bashing of anyone else in that regard. It's just a matter of like, if I were on there and I wouldn't want to be a main character because I'm not that kind of person anyway. I mean, I would be, don't get me wrong. I'm crazy entertaining. Just ask the 4 people who are consistently on my live streams. They love me. I think that's very funny.
I think what happens with SMP is that it's the only story going on right now that can honestly say everyone is the main character of their own story. Like, when people always tell you that in books or when you're writing or anything, they tell you, oh, you need the villain to be the main character of his story. He needs to be his own hero. But how does you make that work if it feels like a side character? The fact that every single person streams on their own means that inevitably they're going to be their own main character. If anyone else wants to see them as the main character too, that is another thing, but they feel more like individual characters, and that feels more interesting for them. That is what makes it engaging, I think.
I feel like a lot of them have started like a lore journey, but not really. I'm not sure what their plan is with them, and maybe they don't need a plan. Maybe they're just going to do Sam is like sporadically completely villainous, and it's like what's going on with that?
I could go on a tangent about how he's never villainous. He's just very, very misdirected and a desperate man who lost everything. But I don't think you will like that if your favorite character is Technoblade. I think if your favorite character is Technoblade, you don't want to hear some apologies ranting about why Sam has done only like 2 wrong things in his life.
I just like Sam was like, that's why I said sporadically villainous. I'm not saying he is villainous, but it's like, why do you always kill the dogs? Like, why? And
honestly, that is weird. But like, Sam does it too, so I'm not even gonna question it at this point.
And if you've been paying any attention to my comics, you'll notice I like my dogs. I like the dogs. Yeah. They're good boys. Yeah. So I don't understand why he's got to be like that. But you do know I also made a Sam defense comic, so you know I'm not like a hater.
Yes, I understand that. Listen, one of my priorities is comedic effects, so I'm probably going to like slander a lot of things just in the name of being funny. I understand it.
You? Oh man, yeah. But you know, a part of me, the tough thing to take into account is some people aren't like master like character writers, and they're just doing stuff like that they think would be cool, and that's exactly. But then you have some people who are actually thinking it through. Like, clearly Quackity and Slimesicle planned a
He
very
put so much effort on his lore streams. He deserves more credit than he gets.
Oh yeah, dude. And it's more than just the way it's filmed. It's the fact that they thought about, okay, what's a good character this character? So Quackity's kind of seen as like a rough around the edges, like up to no good kind of capitalist kind of thing. I feel like it was really, as someone who's like really obsessive about just character writing and storytelling, it was like when Slimesicle appeared in his lore streams, I was like, that is such a great counter character to add. And also he needed something, because you can't have just angst. You have to balance that out. I feel like people really like angst, and I like angst, obviously. But what's the point of angst if there's not anything wholesome to lose in the first place?
Yeah.
So the second Slimesicle appeared, I was like, that is so good. They're like, and it kind of just goes to show that some of the content creators have a very conscious understanding of how entertainment works and what bounces well off of itself in regards to storytelling. And I don't think everyone has that, but you do need people to bounce off of, and not everyone be like, Technoblade. All Technoblade does is to be very defensive and actually in debate why his character's right about everything, which I love.
He's self-righteous.
He's so defensive about everything his character does.
Like, Technoblade, I think that the thing is that Technoblade is very self-righteous, that he believes he can do no wrong. and Fuse just goes with that.
I like that he embodies that as just a content creator. He's like, actually, my character has never done anything wrong in my entire life, and everyone
He's like, my character is divergent and a minor bitch.
I like he's holding on so tightly to being. I'm pretty sure, obviously, it makes sense for them to be very much. If they're going to do a good job, they should try and 100% believe that their character is right, because they are their character. So it makes. I think it makes a lot of sense as a content creator to just be your own lawyer to some extent.
Exactly, like, you have to defend yourself, baby.
You gotta believe in your character. If you won't, then who will?
Exactly. If you will not defend your little terrorist, who will defend them? Who will?
Right. That's right. But here's a tough thing with the debates about what was the moral right or wrong thing to do, is like so much of it is like improv pressure, where you're not sure how seriously to take the role that your character is given. And it's so funny because some people act like certain things are really intense and dramatic, like certain characters killing other characters, when in the context of the scene it was like comedic or like not to be taken seriously. And like, yes, if you sat down and made it angsty, you could act like it was a lot worse than it was. But you gotta take into account, like, in some circumstances it was like for the bit, or like it's not to be taken. Like, it's hard to balance that out.
Listen. My favorite example of that is that there is this video or stream, I don't know exactly know, where Quackity was trying to teach George Spanish, and he gave up, and somebody used the audio of him giving up on it, being like, I tried to help him, and they used that to make Carl and Quackity, how is their ship called? They try to make angst out of that, and I loved it because I honestly cried.
Listen, never underestimate people's capacity to make things angsty. I feel like you could give me any scene and I could figure out a way to make it really sad.
Honestly, people like to suffer. Let's be real.
Oh man. I think people, obviously, if people just like to suffer, people would like a lot more things, because so many things are just solid angst. I think people don't appreciate that you have to have something to lose.
They like the hard comfort. Though
some people, what was I saying? People like Rambo just jump right into angst. Like, I feel like he's like, my character's an angst character, but he's like, I feel like it's hard to say though with Rambo. He's hard to peg as like I feel like I can't really figure out what he's exactly supposed to be.
Rambo is like, Rumble decided from day one that he was gonna make us cry, and he went on with it. And Filsa just saw that, and he started making us cry just for the lols.
They just started. I saw that Dream did a little tidbit of backstory lore, and it seems like there's some revelation with him and Rambo.
Yeah,
that's something. But I don't. I don't know. And I don't even know if they're gonna. Some of them start certain lore and then they just don't go anywhere with it. Like I don't know what's going on with Rambo and his experiments, and if that's ever going to be a thing to consider.
I mean, honestly, like the Rambo experiments, like thing was left so unclosed, and it makes me mad because my whole theory for the two missing lives was based on the experiments, and then somebody gave me a better answer, and I was like, oh yeah, that makes more sense. And now I am angry about the experiments.
There's oh golly, people can get really carried away. It's so funny. So my main interest, more than anything, I'm very storytelling obsessive, and so for me, it's like what's effective for the character. So I really like the Quackity and Slime's a cool bit. I felt like that was a really good character writing, and I thought it was really clever and emotional. And I don't know, and some there are some relationships that are elevated, or I'm trying to think of just to be straight, my favorite combo, Tommy. I like the Bedrock Bros a lot. I find them to be very.
Yes, me too. I love Bedrock Bros. Their dynamic is so good.
It's so
people
good.
Don't appreciate them enough.
It's good because it's a balance of they both have Tommy's really good at taking his character seriously, but being really he's almost like Techno. There's a sense of silliness,
there's a sense of I am just acting this out, and at any moment I can simply stop. Yeah, I am very aware that there is a camera on my face.
There's a fine line, and it's very interesting to watch because I can. If everyone's taking it really seriously, I get a little weird. That's why I loved when Techno showed up for the Red Banquet. I thought that was he was just a breath of fresh air. Not that it was bad, but at some point you're you need someone to break this really tense video game that I'm watching. Not ruin it, by the way. I don't want to not take things seriously, obviously, but just lighten up a bit. We are watching Minecraft roleplay after all.
Just make sure that it's not too serious that it becomes jarring.
Yeah, you have to find a balance of that. Again, my favorite is the in-betweens. I really love Dream and Techno's interactions in the prison. I loved all of Techno's prison break stream. It was so dang funny while being epic.
Prison lore, when he was just in the prison with Dream, because Sam had gone on vacation and they were okay, we need to make content, and they just streamed from inside the prison. That was amazing. That was peak funny.
They're so funny, and again, it's not it wasn't good lore. It's just I really feel the strength of the Dream SMP is the comedy and how they bounce off each other. That's my stance on it. So I think
fandom for the Yanks. The Yanks, you can leave that to the fandom. The comedy, they're very funny people. We should let them be funny.
I think they've got a really good balance of it right now. I thought that last floor stream was just about perfect. I thought it was a good balance of serious scenes, but everything in between was a bit funny.
And give me a second. My room is raining. My room. Well, anyways, back to funny topics. So, aside from Angels of Death and Room SMP, because we already have made very clear that you have you are also the only creator I can find who regularly makes kaiji content, and I would like to talk about that now.
Are you bringing up kaiji with me?
I love kaiji.
Fred, blessings upon you. Oh my god.
Not enough people
there's a new stand right there. Oh my gosh. You've surprised me, my friend. I assume that no one watches kaiji, which is one of the great tragedies.
I actually remember the first time you posted kaiji fanart, I was wait, does somebody else know what kaiji is? Oh my god. I was like, and then you like continue making kaiji content. I was like, yep, this is happening.
Oh
Nice.
my gosh, you're so cultured. Yay.
I wouldn't say culture, I would just say that I like gambling animes, and that one is way better than Kakegurui.
Oh my gosh, I love the Kaiji anime. I love Kaiji as a series. The anime is so good. It doesn't have any
It's
right.
amazing. It's amazing. An artistic style of kaiji is something that I want more of.
Oh, dude, like whoever was in charge of making that, like from the soundtrack to the voice acting to the cinematography,
Everything,
like, really
everything.
good
It
direction.
feels like a series that people cared about while they were making it.
Exactly. Exactly. You felt like they understood how, like, what was happening. It didn't feel like they were just like by the numbers copy and paste. Like, they elevated everything, and everything felt so much more hype because it was super well directed and well, like, visualized.
And because you honestly didn't know if he was going to get out of things or not.
Oh,
There were no Deus Ex Machina, no, not amazingly lucky luck. It was just a guy.
yeah. Actually, it's funny. The season, with the Pinko machine, I learned a terrible lesson about spoiling myself. I thought I had spoiled myself about how it ended because I'd seen like a thumbnail about it on YouTube where it was like Kaiji lost, and I was like, oh crap, he's gonna lose this. So the whole time I was sitting like, I'm waiting for him to lose this stupid game, and it actually ruined it for me because I was never allowing myself to get excited about what was happening because I was so sure he was gonna lose that game, and then it was like, oh, that was just a false freaking spoiler, and now I've ruined my experience. But
Yeah.
with Kaiji, I was like, the best thing about Kaiji to me is something I don't get very much in shows, is that it was very technically, like, you could follow the odds and what was happening, and it didn't feel like it was cheating it by
Exactly.
like storytelling.
It didn't feel fabricated. It didn't feel like the odds were fabricated. It felt like natural things that happened.
Yeah, it felt like you could really appreciate how it felt real. Like, there's a lot of other like luck based shows, but you feel like it's just the story deciding where it goes. And I obviously with Kaiji it's the same way. But when you're following like all the efforts he's making to bend the odds in his direction, which seems like believable, like not bullcrap, not story pulling out your butt, but like actual things that would work, and usually don't work, which is even more great because it doesn't feel like it's cheating. Because even with good shows that allow for strategy, you feel like they bend things to work out if the idea comes into the hero's mind. With Kaiji, he'll do something that should dang well work, and in reality, even in reality, if things should work, they don't always work, and that's what makes it so like endearing and relatable. Don't get me, I love Kaiji's character. Like, he is such a good character on so many levels. I've watched like video essays, straight up video essays about him. I love it, but he's so solid on so many levels.
I love the fact that he is honestly a loser. You understand why he got in the situation he got into.
Yeah, it doesn't play it off like he's like some mad genius, or even though he is really clever, and you don't feel like he ever is just
clever,
but it's a matter of like I don't know. It's hard to say with him, but he's definitely like a good grounded character that doesn't feel like he's very relatable. Let's just say that. Like,
it's like with most animes that relies on life or death situations and put games as the leverage, you always get main characters who, first of all, you know they're not gonna lose, and second, they are perfect geniuses. And I'm not even talking about like Squid Game, because Squid Game is like the only difference I can think. I'm talking No Game No Life, or like animes of that sort. That
and with Squid
Game, protagonists win just because they have to win, not because they deserve the win.
Yeah, and even with Squid Game tried to justify things, and I feel like Squid Game has a lot of merit to it. By the way, I'm not going to bash Squid Game, but in regards to like the actual, they were nowhere close to feeling as earned in regards to like how things turn out. as like people did the right thing. Like the main character did what I think was somewhat necessary to win. But I know I saw I did a Squid fan art Kaiji. I said Kaiji the very first Squid Game, like because there's nowhere for him to crawl back out of if he fails in that context. So, which is the point of Kaiji, which is messing up and then adjusting according to your own mistakes, which is I think one of the best things about Kaiji. That's life. You mess up.
I'm gonna be honest with you. This whole episode, imagine you, was just an elaborate ruse to talk with somebody about Kaiji.
Yeah, if I had known, I would have. That would have been talking today. We would have just started there. And
it was like that is /J because like it was not only about Kaiji, but I was like actually very excited when I was like, hey, finally somebody who knows Angels of Death and Kaiji, which like they kind of fade in the fall of ages.
Yeah, again, I wish what I wouldn't give for a Kaiji season 3. Did you read Kaiji after that last season? Any? No.
I am a filthy anime watcher.
Yeah, the anime is so good, it would make sense to be like,
it is amazing.
And I do think the anime elevates it, but I just gotta say, dude, if I had all the money in the world, that would be the first thing I'd spend money on. The next arc of Kaiji, the next like chunk of arcs in Kaiji are so hype and peak, like there's like it would have been perfect just to have the first 3. It's continued on past that next arc, but that next arc is so like phenomenal on every level. Like it's so good, and it's very angry. I'm very mad that it's not been turned into an anime yet, and it would be so perfect to turn it into an anime, but they haven't done it. But I just want to let you know that it's super, super good after the latest season. Like
I feel like most good mangas, they get turned into an anime, and then but the best parts are never turned into an anime. I'm looking at you, Blue Exorcist. Where is my she mark?
Oh, I'm so sorry about your Blue Exorcist.
Yeah.
I was very happy that Fruits Basket got wrapped up. I was very happy about that. And I haven't watched the 3rd season, but I know it wraps up really well. Orange Host Club is something I haven't finished the manga of, but I've heard it ends really well, which is another thing I'd like to see the end of. Vinland Saga, there we go. That's what's getting it.
Yeah. Host Club is a weird show. And I love it.
What's a weird show?
Host Club. Oran.
It's been a long time since I watched it. I don't know how I'd feel about it now, but I definitely really liked it when it was first coming out. So
I watched it in a movie night in a fanfiction Discord server, and the thing is about Oran that I think everyone needs to know. It is the most homophobic gay anime. Because it feels homophobic, and it is made for the gays. It is amazing.
I can see that you were in a fanfiction Discord server.
Yeah, the clouds. It is not a fanfiction Discord server. It's the Discord server for a fanfic, for like the Deck Wife Sam Pro. Like it's one of the biggest in the My Hero Academia.
Well, oh man. There's a lot to play around with in there. I'm a big fan of I know you're a big fan, right? Of my name with Go Beyond and all that.
Yeah.
Am I right? How are you feeling about that?
It's funny. The Go Beyond is just the name of the person who created the other server, because we fought with Craig that time for 30 minutes. And they were like, wait, I create a server and try it in my computer. And I was like, okay, you try it. And then we literally swore at Craig for like half an hour extra after it worked.
I think it's a beautiful server name.
Yeah.
When I first went to see the Two Heroes movie, that was my first time going to my I remember it was a very lively. I really liked the audience, and right before when the movie just started, someone was like, "Go Beyond," and the entire crowd was like,
"Plus Ultra." Yes, honestly, I love that. Actually, I have a very weird relationship with My Hero Academia movies, because I had tickets to go to Two Heroes, not Two Heroes, to what is the second movie called? I don't remember the name of
Heroes
it. Yeah,
Rising!
I had tickets to watch
Woo!
Heroes Rising, right? I had tickets to watch Heroes Rising. 2 days before I was meant to go watch Heroes Rising, my country went into quarantine.
No!
2 days!
No! Already?
But
I saw Heroes. Oh, you must have waited late. I watched Heroes Rising like 4 times in theaters, and that was right before. I didn't even know that the things were about to go
no,
down.
the thing is, in my country, because this is Latin America, anime movies come very late. Like you have to understand, anime movies here, like when did
Oh,
Heroes Rising come out? It came out like in August, right? It was March. You
oh,
know, they come very late.
that is
They
unfortunate.
but I did get to watch the last movie, World Heroes Mission, on cinemas like 2 weeks ago, and it was
Good.
beautiful. It was
I
my revenge against
good
COVID.
for you. I think the My Hero Academia movies are the best anime movies. Period. Like they just
Honestly, they're amazing.
like they're. I don't know. Like I like a. I am a big. Obviously, I'm a crazy One Piece fan, but I haven't loved the. I feel like the movies are usually good, but they never like. I feel like My Hero Academia movies really get sentimental where they have no right to be so sentimental every time too. They're like really emotional. Uh,
I'm
Beautiful.
gonna be honest, I have watched 800 episodes of One Piece. I only remember the Free Brothers arc, and I have not watched any of the movies. I watched 800 episodes of One Piece. I
Oh
only
my
remember the arc, everything that contained Ace, and the arc when we saw their childhood with like Luffy, and
I mean,
I
that was
only
a good.
remember that, and I have never watched the movie.
I don't
800
know
episodes.
how could you possibly forget the Ennis Lobby arc? Like I'm so in awe. Like how is that possible?
I honestly like I think if like I could remember if I like watched it again, I could remember everything that happens, but it is just fog in my memory. I don't know how. I think it's because it was at the same time I was watching Fairy Tail, and Fairy Tail was a hyperfixation, so I was like way more invested in Fairy Tail, which is
Oh
a
my god.
sin because Fairy Tail is awful.
Oh man, you're hurting my soul. But I'm gonna let it go. I'm trying to control these things. You know, where I'm a good sport about it. Everyone can like what they
I
like.
hurt myself. Don't worry. I wish I could talk about One Piece. I wish I could remember One Piece because I spent 800 episodes.
I don't know how you know what, again, everyone's some things really connect. One Piece was it's always been my big, like, it got me really motivated into storytelling and is a big factor into like why I do what I do at all. So it's like, but you know, there's been a lot of things that inspire you. There's so many things that get you excited, but you know what it was? A part of it, you know, I think a part of us get inspired by like spitefulness or defensiveness. I think that kind of like, no, this is better. I promise I can prove it. It obviously isn't good for like, no one wants to hang out with people who are like really like, no, my thing's better than your thing. But in
Yeah.
regards to like helping you kind of get a grasp on why you like something, it can be healthy, I think. Like,
Let's go back to the fact that I have no taste because I forgot One Piece over Fairy Tail.
no, I was not. I was saying in
No, it's a
high
joke. Don't worry. I'm joking. Don't worry.
when I was in high school, I had a friend back in my day, no one read One Piece because the freaking Four Kids made it into like a child show, which is not.
Oh yeah, I heard a lot of people talk about how 4 kids ruined everything.
Yeah, and it's one of the great sins of Four Kids. So basically, basically the big three. One Piece, I'm sure you were aware, is by far it dwarfs Naruto and Bleach in regards to sales. Like it's always been way bigger in Japan, but it got such a rough start here in America. So when I was in high school, no one liked it, and it was like a weird show that was mainly for kids. And I didn't like it when it first came out, and then later I checked it out, and it was like, oh, okay, actually, am obsessed. Anyway, point being, I had a friend of mine who was like trying to argue objectively, say there's reasons why One Piece is popular. It's because it's not very good or the art style is bad. And I remember I was so like 100% sure that I was right about One Piece being the best thing that ever existed. And I'm not saying that's actually true or not. I am saying it made me obsessive about, because I knew there was something right. Like there was something One Piece was doing right that I liked. And eventually, I think when people get obsessed with that, if you're handling it right, you can start paying attention to things that make something work or not. If you're obsessive like me to some extent. So I was like, no, I'm sure it's good because character writing, because world building, because pacing, because I like.
So basically, you learned story elements out of spite.
Pretty much, I was like, no, I know this has to be. I know there's a reason wrong here. Yes. Yes, I approved to my friend that I was right about One Piece.
Let's be real. Spite is the best way to like see. Like if it wasn't for spite, I would not have finished the first season of Angels of Death. So like, let's say it's a good thing.
You say Angels of Death?
Yeah, if it wasn't for Out of Spite, I would not have finished it. Because like I already said, I got so shocked by how much the animation got worse in episode 2. ¿Qué? Sí, mi mamá me dijo que la había cerrado. Yo le dije a mamá cerrarla, tengo que cerrar, me dijo, la cerré. ¿Qué? Estoy grabando, ¿puedes por favor cerrar la puerta? I'm sorry. As I was saying, I got so shocked by the sudden, non-explained drop in animation quality that I was like, I'm not gonna watch this anime ever again. And then my twin was like, oh, but it doesn't look that bad. And out of spite, I was like, I'm gonna prove it looks that bad by watching it all the way through and then comparing it to episode 1. And then suddenly in episode 6, out of nowhere, the animation goes back up again, and I was like, I was so confused. I was so confused.
Brought in a really good animator for certain scenes, and they like phoned it in for the rest. Yeah, dude. You know, the worst of that is the One Punch Man season 2. Same studio, by the way. Same studio. Were the ones that butchered the second season of. Did you ever check out One Punch Man?
I did, but I got bored. I get bored way too easily.
Well, whether you liked it or not, I'm sure you acknowledge that season like went hard with the animation. Like they were going crazy.
Yeah, it looked beautiful. It looked spectacular.
Exactly. And I know that it's the same studio that made Angels of Death got the rights to One Punch Man, and I cannot watch that second season. And it's infuriating because the second season has literally one of my favorite fights in manga, period. There's Garo versus like a team of like 7 heroes. And it was so well executed in the manga. And to have it from the anime should have elevated it because the anime was so well done. Whether you like the story or not, the animation was so good in that first season. It was so cruel to see what should have been phenomenal just butchered. Like they did a horrible job.
Yeah, I think there is always an issue when like studios change. Like I remember I have not watched the last seasons of like Attack on Titan, but I remember when like Wit Studio said that they were not going to continue animating it, people were like very upset.
Yeah, I feel like you got. Yeah, that's a very fair point. Cause it's really sad. We got really lucky with Kaiji because Kaiji was given to someone who really loved it, but.
Yeah,
you see what's happened to stuff that's got good source material but are given to people who don't appreciate it or don't have the budget. I don't know.
Blue Exorcist season 1.
Blue Exorcist had a crazy good studio.
I am so, like this will probably come out again, but I hate the Blue Exorcist season 1 anime so much because it's my favorite manga, and I'm like, why? Why can't we have a good adaptation? This is why we cannot have pretty things.
Am I forgetting something? I thought they did a really good job with the first. I feel like I remember them.
No, they did a good job with the second season.
Well, was the second season worse? Because I thought the first season
was better. It was better. The first season of Blue Exorcist is so bad. It's so bad. They changed so many things. They do not care about their source material. Because like people say, right, I'm going to go on a tangent on this because I need to say this and nobody listens to me. I'm sorry, you're trapped.
Let it off your chest.
people say, oh, it's only after episode 15 that it changes from the manga. You can watch up till then and be no. Everything changes from the manga. Episode 1 and 2 are so good that you forget that they change things as early as episode 4 and go with that. And then they make you pretend to like that it's a good adaptation, and it is not. And then we have season 2, which very rightfully so made as if season 1 hadn't happened. Like the second half of season 1, no, it is not canon. It didn't happen. And season 2 is amazing. And then we never got an adaptation again, and I'm sad because then comes the spy arc, and it's amazing.
Well, because like the worst thing about a bad adaptation is now they've robbed you of a likely chance of ever seeing it adapted right.
Exactly.
I was really nervous about Vinland Saga because like that's a fairly technical manga, and if it wasn't done right, it would suck. And we've seen what's happened to manga like that, like Berserk got made into like a CGI monstrosity.
Oof,
So it's like,
Berserk is so the Berserk. We don't talk about Bruno. We don't talk about Berserk.
Yeah, we don't need to talk about Berserk for multiple reasons. But I was pleased with Vinland Saga. I think it did a good job. I felt like it could have been animated a little bit better, but overall, I thought the execution was solid.
I'm gonna be honest. I watched episodes 1 and 2 of Vinland Saga and got bored. Is it good?
Oh, it's so dang good. It's amazing. That's all I'll say about it. But it's a masterpiece in my opinion. But I will say a good example of a same studio, right? Who made Promised Neverland, which I'm guessing you've seen, maybe?
Oh yeah, we don't talk about Promised Neverland season 2.
So like, okay, I'm glad you understand what I'm saying though, because it's like that first season was perfect. Same studio, right?
It was so great.
Like, so there's an odd example of like clearly maybe they changed teams. I don't know. I'm pretty sure the mangaka had a say in changing how it went, which blows my mind because they literally got rid of the best part of the next part of the manga, which is like, why would you remove literally the peak of your series, in my opinion, which was really good. And they skipped to the worst parts, and then they made it worse than it was. I can't fathom what they were thinking. Aside from maybe they wanted, I can't even imagine what they were thinking.
It's like decisions were made; they were not good ones.
They were not good ones. They were not. But it makes you more thankful when things are done right. Like, we got a really good kaiji adaptation. We got
amazing kaiji.
I'm very thankful for the Fruits Basket adaptation. Have you seen Ranking of Kings or Osama Ranking? That's a new one that's got.
I'm gonna be honest, I have not. I haven't watched anime consistently. Like, I used to watch a lot of anime, but back in 2019, I stopped watching seasonal anime as much as I did, and now I almost don't watch anime aside from things that I already know.
Yeah, dude, I haven't watched a ton recently myself. I've been really busy with my own thing, and also
Minecraft.
Minecraft is very time consuming, and
yes,
because you kind of have to watch anime. And if I'm on a project, I've been literally doing this comic all day, every day, unless I'm doing work, and that's it. So I've been very committed, and I don't want to. But I've been trying to get back into it recently because I feel like I need to keep myself in the mindset of how these things play out. Like, I need to be reading more manga so I keep an idea of how the pacing usually goes and what I like and dislike. Like, I don't want to forget what is inspiring me here and just be so caught up in my work that I don't remember what's inspired it. So I'm trying to keep up.
That is so valid. That is so valid, honestly. That is actually something funny about that is that when I was before I entered the MSMB fandom, in 2020, most of my content was my OCs, and I was so happy with that, My Hero Academia OCs. I posted a new reference sheet for my OCs, and I was like, hey, this year I want to rework this AU and only make things for this AU. A week later, I got into SMP, and now nobody has seen my OCs since then.
That'll happen, dude. That's what just happens. You get really into something, and it'll steal you from everything else, and that's just how it goes.
Exactly. Yep.
I don't really use the term valid. I am a person who obsesses hard when I find something I think has a lot of merit. Like I get so hyped about something if I see something different or exceptional. Like they're so rare. So I'm trying to, and if I find it, I like to figure it out. Like, why is this so good? Like, what makes this better than? And that may be true or not. Like everyone, I just like to validate it. If not just validate it, but figure out like what was done differently that made it better. I even had that with like I've even gone through the BTS phase. I had a BTS phase last year. I was going crazy over them. It's not always shows. I had a Yuzuru Hanyu phase.
Oh, you know Yuzuru
Hanyu? What?
You know, please.
That's dude. I was crazy about Yuzuru Hanyu.
You're now my favorite person. It's not Jay. Half Jay.
I have a Yuzuru Hanyu magazine that I got that a friend sent me from Japan directly. I was really crazy about him, and I watched live when he won the gold medal last time. And it was like
that is so cool.
It was so
it's
cool.
funny because like I don't like figure skating that much. It is a way too complicated sport, but I watch everything that Yuzuru Hanyu does. He's such a lovely person. I love that. I love him.
I'm the same. It's like I don't tend to go for ice skating, but then it's like he's just a joy to watch. First of all,
yes, like, he is.
It's how he skates. It's like it's not just like, oh, is he gonna hit the jump? It's like you get mesmerized in some beautiful craftsmanship.
Exactly. It's like you know he's going to like do it, so you're just watching. You're just like watching his performance and getting surprised, and it's amazing. That is why I love like the get me and like let me entertain you like choreography so much. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's like a balance of like I'm stressed because I know he's gonna try and do things that no one else is trying to do, but also I'm watching art, so it's a weird hybrid of like anxious combat.
Exactly. It's like he's been trying a quadruple axel. And he's probably going to get very hurt in the Olympics doing it, but like it's art. He's an artist while he does it.
I just love people who are like not only like they obviously have some natural talent, but like you know that they're just taking things to the next level. It's just so really cool when you see people doing things above and beyond what should be expected. It's like always really cool to see. So with him, it was like such a joy to watch him because again, it's not just. Obviously, he's working his absolute butt off, but also he's not just trying to like he's very competitive, obviously, but like gosh, it's such an art form for him. Like it's so pretty to watch when he does it. Like, it's different.
And also he has like such strong bonds with the other skaters too that it feels fun to watch them. It doesn't feel like you're watching people try to completely destroy each other and their careers. It looks like they honestly get proud for each other when other people win, and it's amazing. I love that.
Yeah, I think that was partially why I got really into BTS. I felt like they had a really nice authenticity, and I liked how funny they were, and they worked very hard. I think that combination got me really good. They're so funny that was a big. Clearly, I have a thing for funny. That's why Isaac Foster works so well for me. I like me a funny dude. I like they make me laugh. I like them. That's just how it be. The Yuzuru Hanyu wasn't exactly funny. He's just cool, but so it's not always the same thing. I'm not like it's not always, you never know what it's gonna be. It's kind of like whatever you stumble into.
Exactly. Like listen.
No, go ahead.
What? Did you say something?
I was gonna ask if you're currently fixated. I know you're into the Dream SMP at the moment, but are you really into
that is my fixation right now. Is like Dream SMP.
Well, tough for you. That's a strong. You're holding tightly. They don't both do much.
That is. Listen, I find it funny how if you went to my account last year, you would see like an amalgamation of art from different fandoms. Like, a lot of My Hero Academia, but it was all from different fandoms. And you go like last year, and you like 2020 versus 2021, and you see it's from May up onwards is all Dream SMP. It's just funny Blockman.
Well, dude, did you get into the well, some fandoms are just really easy. Did you get into the Undertale fandom when it happened?
The Undertale fandom? No, the thing is, right, when the Undertale fandom first started, I was a kid. So I was a sheltered kid who was not allowed to download games on the computer, and I actually listened. But I was phenomenal. I was very interested in Undertale, but I had no idea what it was.
Oh well, that's a good example. I was thinking to myself, how it lends itself to a fandom. Like it encourages the fandom to do their own ideas.
But I have played Undertale. I'm just not in the fandom. I have played Undertale. I love Undertale. I'm actually in the genocidal route right now. I was not expecting myself to have a moral qualm against killing a skeleton, but like, let's just say the Sephiroth battle is going to be a tough one.
I could never play
the
I can't even play the game. Here's this tough thing with me. Actually, my sister got Undertale a couple years ago, and I've never touched it for multiple reasons. One being, I don't really want to go either route. My favorite part in the game is Sans fight, and I won't get it unless I do.
Exactly. I want to play the Sans fight. That is the other reason why I'm playing the genocidal route. I already played like the pacifist and a few like neutral routes.
Yeah, it's but since I'm unwilling to do that, I will just watch other people do it and be amused. It's friggin' Sans. So I can't play the game because of that, because I can't get myself to it would hurt me too much. I'm very sensitive. But I was gonna say, there was a fandom that, because the source material lends itself very well into creative variations, and again, it was strengthened by its comedy. I think that was a big thing. But like the fandom for that went crazy. Like all types of, like, everyone made alternate universes and like did like full on storylines with like comics, and it was a fan art. I was a part of the I did animations. I was really into the Undertale fandom when it came out. Though I never played the game, and I don't want to play the game.
That is valid. Listen, I have never played a single FNAF game aside from like the like trial for the phone, and I can recite you from memory the whole lore. I think that is freaking valid.
Dude, well, freaking Five Nights at Freddy's is something you watch someone else experience. Like I don't have a strong incentive to put myself through that. I'd rather
exactly like in between my crappy computer that cannot handle FNAF and the fact that I have anxiety, I don't want to play FNAF. I like the story.
Well, it's like I love watching people games, but I am an absolute baby. Like I will not. I love watching Outlast. I like watching Resident Evil. I love those. I like really really good scary games. But ain't no way I'm ever touching those things. It's just a nice thing to observe.
Exactly. It's like, why put myself through that when I can see a white man putting himself through that? You know?
Did you see Tommy in it play? I really liked it when
he.
I thought
it's like really a child. Technically in like the Boy Scout, like it didn't happen that long ago. When Tommy talks about being a uterus, it's like immaculate.
I loved all the time the Tommy and it bugging people. I hope Technoblade back is participate more in the near future. I have definitely missed him, and he's posted videos recently, 2 in a row. I couldn't believe it. I was actually like drawing while he when he went live the first time that no one was expecting it, and I was like just drawing while he talked. It was amazing. I put it on. I was getting some packages ready. I was about to go on a trip, so I was really not the best timing. Otherwise, I would have watched it all right timing. But it was that was good for him. I hope he comes back. I wish we could get more of him actually playing. I love watching him with like his actual fights and stuff. And he doesn't have to win. He's just really fun to watch. So I wish he would do that.
Exactly.
More. I know
like him going like rocket ship every time guessing in like build battle. It was like rocket ship. It's going to work someday.
And he has a good balance of like caring, but not making you feel stressed that if things don't go his way, he's going to be a bad sport. You know, Dream is great. You know, he's not. Everyone knows he's not a good sport. That's just a part of his character.
Yeah, exactly.
But I love watching Dream play as well because it's fun to root for someone who cares a lot, you know. But I wish Techno would play more though. He seems like he doesn't want to compete very much, which I get that there's a lot of pressure on him and fun for him, but he doesn't have to win. He's just fun to watch. I don't care if he wins.
It's fun to see him.
The thing is, I understand his logic. The logic is when he started out, his whole thing was winning, and now he's an entertainer, so he can't obsessively practice all the time like he used to. And for every person he's inspired, they don't have to entertain, and they get to practice all. So the logic is that he's obviously not going to beat your average player anymore because he doesn't have time to be like the best thing ever. And that's reasonable, but it does kind of suck because I would like to see it, you know, I want to tell him that you don't want to win, but I also get that he probably doesn't really want to play if he's not going to be good at the game. I don't know. Not bad. He's obviously never going to be bad at the game.
No, I understand what you mean. I understand. It's like he used to his whole image was not comedy, but winning.
Yeah.
Like there was comedy there, but it was just winning. And now his image is more like comedy.
Yeah. I think that was smart.
Instead of winning.
I feel for Dream though, because Dream wants to keep at it, and I actually like that he pushes it hard. But it's obviously like, you know, it's not something that's going to be there forever, and that's how it is with every sport. I mean, aside from a few crazy masters, there's no one that maintains like. And again, and not to mention changing, like Dream is doing all types of stuff aside from like practicing. So it's. With athletes, you can kind of expect some consistency because that's their whole job. But with Dream and Techno, they're entertainers. They're planning stuff. They're setting up. They're doing comedy bits. Like they're not going to be able to find the time to just grind all day every day. Expect as someone who's a professional sport athlete. Even though it'd be fun for them to maintain that, it would be cool. But it's impossible. It's ridiculous to expect it. But you feel it in their heart. You know they want. Still, which must be tough to balance those things.
It must, honestly. The thing is, I like watching Dream lose. So like, and I'm not saying that to be like, I'm not feeling like as an auntie or Dream is so great. I'm saying that as there is nothing more hilarious than the FNAF security breach stream. I want more of that Dream.
I need to watch that. I would love to watch that. I'm sure I'm not the only one. Dream has a great voice, and he's very fun to listen to. And I need to watch that. Just for the fun of hearing him.
It was such a good thing because, like, his image online, even if he doesn't want it to, is of a very cocky person who's very sure of his victories.
Yes.
And then you have that stream, which is just him crying for 2 hours, just because he's scared of a few robots, and I love that. And it sounds like a very mean person saying that, but it's the truth.
Is it on Twitch? I can't remember. He switches between Twitch and...
Yeah, no, he streamed it on Twitch, but I think the bot is in YouTube. It was an alt stream, I think.
Though I kind of like the non-cut versions as well, so I don't know. I definitely need to watch it, though. Lately, I've just been... I could put it on. There's no reason I can't put it on while I'm streaming. I literally just stream all day, every day, making the comic. Or for the most part, unless I'm working money, you know.
Understandable. Honestly, when I need motivation to anything, I cannot do that right now, honestly, because my computer is broken. But when I need motivation, I just stream what I'm doing, so that it motivates me.
Exactly. And again, so for me, it's like, but first of all, like I love hearing anyone who's like interested in what's happening. I love talking to them about it, and if anyone's enthusiastic at all about what I'm working on, it's like it fuels. Like if it's just one person, sometimes it is like it makes me so hyped because I'm like, they don't know what's coming. Get ready. Oh, this is gonna be something. Get ready. It's a wonderful motivator to have anyone who's curious. So it helps to stream, and also it opens me up to things. I would never have gotten into Stream SMP if I hadn't been streaming. Someone bugged me about it multiple times. And so it is kind of a way for me to keep myself open to new things that I wouldn't look into usually. Because I don't have time to look into it.
It's great that you're streaming.
Yeah, so the streaming is very helpful for multiple reasons. It'll never... I don't expect... It's not really like a... There's no goal in mind. It's just a matter of I'm doing this anyway, and I do like being motivated. What is this? What's happening here?
Exactly. Like the thing is, my streams are just me reading fan fiction or this podcast or drawing. So like, yeah, Chad. Let's just say Chad named a dancing pig Arson.
You read fan fiction on stream. That's exciting.
Yeah, that is my thing. My bio is literally that one anarchist who reads fan fiction.
I know that's a thing that the Dream SMP members do on occasion, which is pretty dang funny.
Oh yeah, actually, I started following Nikki because she did a stream rebuttering in her alt.
Oh, I remember her doing that. Yeah, there's a rare example of like that's very interesting to see fanfic get such traction.
Yeah, it's like but I have never seen before a fandom where the fan fiction is the main driving force in the fandom.
I wish I was. Well, if it had been a few years ago, I would have. When I was into One Piece, I made a that was about the length of any of the Harry Potter books, except for maybe the last one. I made a huge One Piece fanfic, and I thought it did really well. So if I had been in the Dream SMP fandom a couple years ago, I would have been probably pumping some hardcore, like tons of fanfic. I mean, technically, the Zack and Ray is a fanfic, so I guess I haven't gone too far.
I'm afraid to tell you, Annie, that is technically a fanfic.
Oh yes, yes it is. The very beginning of that series was it was never ever going to be it was like 3 a.m, and I was in bed and I was going to go to sleep, and I had that stupid idea of like Ray asking Zack what he would do for a job, and he was just like murder, and she like, we can make that work. It was literally a middle of the night, like that would be stupid, and it's kind of funny, and I doodled bed, and it did really well, and I had already had other ideas, and it literally spread. Like, it wasn't intended to ever be a story or anything. It was just like, that would be funny, and these characters are funny, I'm gonna make it, and things got out of hand, and then Tiffany got excited.
Let's just say things escalated quickly.
I got enthusiastic as it went on. I think it was what was it? Like, obviously I'm trying to think of, like, eventually I started writing them, but I'm trying to think of when I started. I guess it was around the Christmas one where they got each other. I guess I started having things connecting. I'd have to go back. Yeah, you know what? It really started at the hotel. They went to.
Yeah, it was after the story, at least for me as a reader, it started feeling like more like a concise story and not just snippets after the Christmas things, because then we had the hotel story, and then just them walking around, and things like had a lot more of a linear sense.
Yeah, that was probably it. And part of that was a part of it is that I felt like the story was fleshing out a lot more than it ended up, in my opinion, concluding. And because I felt like they were doing a lot more with the characters, and then it kind of left you open, coming to a conclusion with that to some extent, and they didn't. And I have no problem with how it ended.
No, I love the ending.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's like it didn't do what it needed to do. But for me, I just really wanted to see certain things answered, and again, not everything be answered with storytelling. So I'm not saying it was wrong for that, but for me, it was like I really wanted to see that play out how I thought it was going. So, and that's what happened. What was I thinking of? Oh,
yeah. So actually, it was basically questions.
What got me into? Yeah.
No, you said something. I'm sorry. Like, it cut your audio for a second.
Well, I actually got into Angels of Death because of an artist on Twitter, Comadera, I think is her name. She did a piece of fan art for it, and I just thought it was so fun. And that was how it. So it was. I didn't even know about it. It was right before the anime came out. I don't know if she was anticipating the show or what, but I actually got into it because of her.
Oh, so it was the perfect moment.
Yeah, I got it. I started posting the comics right as the anime just got into it before it got adapted. It's so good to go into a fandom right before it starts taking off. That is the best time because the hype, you just ride it. Unlike the Dream SMP, which I was ready to ride. They tossed me to the wayside. I'm okay. I'm not salty about it.
Actually, it's kind of funny because if I had to blame someone for me getting Dream SMP, it would be Sadist and you.
Well, I'm glad I got to be a part of the process. Sadist, man. She like, you know, she carries that fandom on her back like the queen that she is.
Well, it was a combination of Sadist cinematics and like edits from Sadist cinematics, and the fact that suddenly an artist that I had been following for like 2 years at this point suddenly is posting a lot of Dream SMP fan, and I was like, okay, I want to interact with this content too. I guess I get into Dream SMP.
Yes, and you know how cultured I am because I watch Kaiji, and
yes, like, I knew it had to be good taste.
Her taste is exemplary, so
exactly. Exactly.
Well, I that is exactly why I do fan. I love having people to share in my hype about things, and fan art is my main way. I can't, because you can't just tell people things are good. I mean, you can if you have good friends that they might listen, but fan art is my way of being like, look at the thing, that's awesome, I promise.
Exactly, and I think honestly that fan art is the easiest way to get into fandom. That I can think of so many fandoms that I got into because I saw fan art for it and I was like interested.
Yeah, dude, it's a good way to build a community, and you know what? Kaiji Exia has pretty good fan art community. They're small and they're like sporadic, but they are there.
I should try to check it out.
Angels of Death, but the Kaiji fan art is very just like the series. A lot of it's mostly quirky, but there's some artists on Twitter that have just nothing but Kaiji fan art, and they're so good. I'd have to find them and link you to them, but they do exist, but they're scattered and hard to find.
They are rare. They are rare.
What do you think fandom has the best fan art? I think Angel of Death had a really, really good fan art community.
I honestly think that if we think about fandom and try to think who has the best fan art, we cannot never choose. But in recent fandoms that I've been in with very good fan art, My Hero Academia and Minecraft have to be the biggest ones with the best fan art.
Dude, Minecraft, yeah, dude. You know, I'm trying to think. My Academia does have really good fan art. I'm trying to think of other. You know what's funny? I don't see a ton. I'll see random fan art for a random. You know what's a good fan art community? The Zelda community, the Breath of the Wild.
Oh yeah, they are so active. They are so active.
I can't believe how hardcore they go, because it's like every day there's like straight up Mona Lisa, like.
Honestly, like one of my friends, we sell our cons together. They make like pins and everything, and they have so much Zelda shit.
It's amazing. Oh, and now Breath of the Wild, well, rightfully so. Breath of the Wild is so dang good.
Of course, it's a very good franchise. I'm not saying it's not deserved. I'm just surprised. Like they really, they live, laugh, love. It's about drive. It's about power. We stay humble with the power. They live, laugh, love that motto.
You know, it's funny. And also I feel like the Zelda fandom is a pretty safe fandom to be in, because there's only so much you can mess around and have fights over with like your average Zelda. Though I will say, I think there's one fandom we are missing, and that is the Pokemon fandom, which I think
Pokemon. I'm gonna be honest, I just get away from the Pokemon fandom because Rule 34 was starting to ruin my experience.
Dude,
I love Pokemon.
They will put out like straight up movie quality, I don't know, museum quality art within seconds of an announcement on Pokemon. It is absolutely insane how quickly they work on things.
The thing is, I went away from the Pokemon a bit. Like, I still love Pokemon. I was never part of the fandom that much, but I was part of the Pokemon Go fandom, and it is amazing.
I know you mentioned that you were a little like not able to play certain games. I wasn't able to watch Pokemon growing up, so I didn't really get to be a part of that. But I did play Pokemon Go pretty intense, like everyone else did when Pokemon Go came out.
Oh no, I actually didn't play when it came out. When Pokemon, that is like, I am the stapler late coming to fandoms. I hated Pokemon growing up, and I didn't play Pokemon Go when it came up. But when I was
You
12,
hated it.
I got into Pokemon, and now in 2020, I got into Pokemon Go.
Oh, you're late. Yeah, well, you missed out on the party. It was
Yeah.
quite a thing for a while there,
Oh yeah, things were wild.
Well, the fandom is staying very strong. I'm always in awe of the work that comes out there. And I guess it makes sense. Everyone's got their own, favorites, and it's easy to pick your favorites and combine them differently and do stuff with it. But
What's your favorite Pokemon?
Man, what is my favorite Pokemon? I feel like, it's a really good question. I don't know. I think squirrels. I think that squirrel's cute. Honestly, again, you're talking to someone who played it growing up, so it was funny. Here's what's funny. I can't believe this. I even had this phase. I had a brief phase in, I guess, middle school where I actually started a very big Pokemon fanfic, even though I never got to play or watch it. I love the idea of Pokemon, so I actually did a really intense. I did a whole world building. I worked so hard on that. Never released it to the public. I literally wrote it and just it was my little Pokemon fanfic. So
I love Pokemon fanfiction. I love Pokemon fanfics that don't use the character, they use OCs in the Pokemon universe. I love those fanfics. I love Nuzray is one of my favorite webcomics.
I see. I don't know. I didn't really get into the fandom. I just had a phase where I was like, I think I watched the movies, and it was like that was enough for me. I'm a big fan of Ash Ketchum. Unlike you, I'm not really. This might surprise you, but I very rarely to OCs, but so I'd always do like Ash Ketchum stuff, very basic person.
Oh yeah, no, I don't like OCs. Like I like OCs. I only had my Hero Academia OCs because I created them when I was like very young, and I wanted to like use them because hey, I made these characters, I should use them, but I don't make OCs anymore.
Well, obviously I make OC. Remember my name used to be on Instagram. That was my Sonic the Hedgehog. That was my Sonic the Hedgehog OC that I made. That I was
really.
Yeah.
No, because my name is one of my OCs that I created when I was younger. Like my original OC, not from a fandom or anything. Just Hatzui is the name of my own OC.
Listen, it's hard to come up with original names, okay?
No, it's not an original name. It's not. It's just I just took a Japanese word, Hatsui, that means hot, because I like spicy food. I put an H and a C just to make it sound good. Hatsui.
I knew that Hatsui means hot. I'm actually working really hard. I say I'm working. I keep forgetting it though, but I have been working on it for almost a year. So I knew Hatsui was hot, but I don't know what the beginning of the word is. But yeah, I have some cringe though, and my big fan fiction is called For Nakama, just to give you an idea of what a little weeb I was.
It's okay.
I was using those Japanese word names like I knew what I was talking about.
Listen, growing up, I had a Wattpad Percy Jackson crack fic that basically was just incorrect quotes, and that thing right now has 400,000 reads. So I think I was a cringe nerd too. You don't have to worry about that. You're not alone.
You're famous. Oh my gosh. See,
I am not. I try to separate myself from that person. I wrote that when I was 12. I am not famous. I am under a rock.
Wattpad. I missed the Wattpad party, apparently. Probably better to go to Wattpad.
You're one of the lucky ones. Run away from the Wattpad party. AO3 is so much better.
Oh my gosh. I feel like I did dodge a bullet there. I was only around for fanfiction.net, and that was it. And I thank God. Oh man, I've seen what frolics around on AP, whatever it's called. You get yourself in some trouble in some of these places.
Trust me. You don't. If you didn't have a Wattpad face and you are in fandom, you were one of the lucky ones.
Yes, I missed it. I was there before back in my day, it was so hard to find fan art for, like, I looked so hard for my fandom's fan art. You had DeviantArt, but you couldn't filter it very well. DeviantArt didn't sort it very well. With Twitter and Instagram, you can kind of see it based on what everyone else is reacting to, so it does allow for like an organic, artistic, shared interest kind of thing, while it can't really be algorithm. Art's not really a good algorithm thing. It kind of has to be a public opinion thing almost.
Yeah.
But back in my day, it was not easy. That's why I made so much One Piece fan art, because I couldn't find any. I was like, well, we gotta carry the line.
Honestly, if you cannot find it, make it is one of my favorite models when it comes to fan art and fan fiction. It's like, I'm a writer and an artist. If I cannot find the shit, I am not gonna make it.
Yeah, I wish, man, here's that. If I could go back, I would update I actually did fan art for my One Piece fanfic, and I don't think, sadly, back in the day, you couldn't put your art with fanfic. Now, on these other platforms, you can, and it's like, well, I missed out on that. I hear I got the art and everything, and I don't got time to be messing around with my childish antics, but it would have been good. I'm sure it would have been good.
Yeah.
So I still read fanfic, to be honest. I mainly read I don't read anything else. I don't know what it is about Bakugo, but I will read a Bakugo fanfic.
Valid. Bakugo is such a good character.
I do agree. I have a little Bakugo in my office. In my opinion, he is like the best thing about the show. That is my hot take. Yeah. I love him.
Personally, I prefer Uraraka, but yes.
Uraraka is a wonderful character, and I like, and I think the show has going for it. But I am just crazy about Bakugo. I like his character design. I like his aura as a character, just really good. I hope he gets some more time to shine. I'm not sure where this series is going. It seems like it's kind of like it's weird. It feels like it's going towards a crisis, but I don't know if there's a personal crisis that I am super emotionally connected to. Actually, I don't know if you read the manga. You read the manga?
Yeah, I actually stopped reading the manga in chapter 315.
And what was that? What was going on?
Like, it was like a few chapters after Izuku was like revealed as a vigilante.
Oh, so like right after the big fight.
Yep.
Yeah, that's you know what? I feel like that's not a bad. That's an interesting place to stop it. Like it sort of came out of nowhere. I don't know. I'm not crapping on it though. I love My Hero Academia. I did feel.
Oh yeah, I love My Hero Academia too. It's like I find it fun. I find that funny about like Dream SMP is that My Hero Academia was my main thing for like almost 4 years, and suddenly these Minecraft YouTubers come and yank me away.
They stole the fandom. Someone should tell Shonen that their stuff is being stolen, their fandom is being robbed by these random funny people on the internet.
Yeah, exactly. I find it hilarious. So many things I got interested in those almost 4 years that could not convince me to stop watching My Hero, or read My Hero, or doing My Hero Academia fan art.
Yeah, it's very
a British child, and suddenly I can only think of Dream SMP. I find it hilarious.
Tommy in it, my man, my good son.
My man, yeah.
I need to catch up. I was watching it. I actually am still catching up on the Dream SMP lore. I know what happened, obviously, but I was wanting to watch it through, like how it was originally intended. And so I've been watching it with my sister, but I've been busy, so I haven't caught up, and there's lots to watch in the world. But I am still catching up with the visuals. The actual watching of it. I mean,
yeah.
Were you there for when it was happening, all the big stuff?
Yeah, the thing is, I got into the fandom in May.
Yeah, you did mention that I helped a little bit, so maybe it wasn't.
Yeah.
Maybe you had the same struggles that I did.
Yeah, like the thing is, right? I watched like a series in YouTube that is like a dramatic reenactment made by Evan Gaming. I don't like it that much because it is only the story and none of the characters in those recaps. But then I watched character analysis.
I know who you're talking about, because I also watched the Evan Gaming thing, and he does a great job at like explaining elements. Like, but you can't explain the Dream SMP. Like, it can only be experienced.
he does a great job of putting the story, just the story. It's a very matter of factly way of telling how it happens. So it doesn't let you get attached to any of the characters, and it doesn't tell you about any of the relationship between characters. And so then I started watching character analysis and then clips, and the only lore bots I watch are the Exile bots. I have not watched anything else.
Well,
Aside from the fact that I watch live.
I've had a very interesting journey with the dream. It was a techno hog hunt video that got me to finally start like looking into this like lore stuff. But I'd actually watched the Techno versus Dream fight back. So I like Mr. Beast, so I watched some Mr. Beast videos, and I saw the Techno versus Dream. At the time, I didn't know anything about them, but I liked the idea of a big fight duel between top tier gamers. I just like that kind of thing. And at the time, I don't remember who I actually. I feel like I felt like I was supposed to root for Dream. I don't know. But all I'm saying is, like, eventually, and then it was like, okay, I see this cool animatic. I like Technoblade. I know I like Technoblade because that animatic told me I like Technoblade. And then I got to, and then I watched Evan Gaming talking about Technoblade's like lore and his history, and it was like, that's so cool. And I had a big Technoblade kick before I got into the SMP. And it's like, even I watched Evan McGamey talk about like Tom Emmett and stuff, and at the time I didn't know anything at all. And to me, I was like, okay, so Tommy's some random game player who came in. I had no idea what a great what a great entertainer Tommy was, and like
exactly, it was more of like, oh, he's this child.
Yeah, I thought it was funny how you don't really know how things work just from the surface level, and you kind of have to. It's like you said, experience. You have to experience it. So I have my brother-in-law. I hurt my feelings. He's D&D, and for some reason he adamantly thinks that the like Dream SMP idea of the Dream SMP is just dumb. And it's like, you play D&D, like you don't even have.
The Dream SMP feels like a D&D campaign between a group of drunk friends.
And it's like, I just don't understand. Like, I don't know why he has. I don't know what the addition of it being with a block game. I don't know how that hurts it in comparison to D&D. I just don't fathom why the. But I've stopped debating him on it. I will not fight him on this. It is not worth a fight. I mean, it is worth a fight.
Honestly, it is not worth. It is not worth it.
It's more like, like as you've noticed now, I just like to justify things that I like, and I like to sometimes I get really defensive if I think it's really good. Not with everything, but some stuff I just like. I get like. It's like if you find something you think has a lot of merit, you just really want to make sure everyone can see it. That's what fan art is all about, and fanfic for that matter. It's like you see it, and I think fanfic is like, I see these characters. Showcase that in my own way to some extent. That's why I did the Zack and Ray comics. I was like, dang, these characters are so dang good. I gotta show these guys off. They're so good.
Yeah. And it was, and that thing spiraled. Okay, so we are actually about we are way over the time.
As I said, you could get me talking. I can.
No, I honestly I got carried away too.
Yeah, you got me monologuing.
Yeah, no. So before we stop recording and we do the out things and everything, you have, and this is the question I stole from Anthony Petitt that I am very proud of. You have 2 minutes to promote anything you want. Go.
To talk about anything I want?
Promote, yes, and talk about everything you want.
Oh my gosh, please read Sent, my comic. It's gonna pop off. So it's gonna be the best thing you've ever seen. It is like, okay, you like dramatic character stuff? You like funny characters? Do you like action, violence? Do you like lore, complex backstories, angst? We're 4 chapters in. It's gonna go so hard soon, and this is my baby right now. And I put my heart and soul into it, and I think if you give it a try, you will fall in love with my characters. And this is my big obsession right now. You like werewolves, lichens, fantasy, westerns? Oh my gosh, it's got all those things. And it's my current obsession. It's very character-centric, and I try to work pretty hard on world building, but mostly characters, and it's my obsession right now. Aside from that, watch Osama Ranking, or Ranking of Kings. I'm really crazy into that right if you don't want to check out something that's been approved by a publisher and an animation team, Ranking of Kings has a really nice animation and character writing as well. But I mainly am trying to promote my scent on Webtoons. Scent like the smell. That's my big thing.
Yeah.
It'll be worth it, I promise. That probably was a minute.
Yeah, it's okay. So, everyone, thank you all for coming to this episode of Fancast. You can find me on Twitch. This Fancast usually is a Twitch podcast live every Sunday at 3 p.m. PST. Now, for a while it won't be, but still you can find me and Fancast at twitch.tv/Hatsucast. You can find Fancast on Spotify at Fancast with Hatzui and on YouTube as Fancast Podcast. Thank you all for coming. You can find Tiffany on Instagram as Tiffany Petitt and on Webtoons with the webcomic Sent, Adventure Second Ray, and Come With Me. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye-bye.